Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been baffled by your child's behavior? Has it ever left you just absolutely speechless or fuming in anger? I remember when I was a kid, my mother would say to me things like, "Well, I gave you plenty of chances," or "Well, I tried." As a kid, my takeaway was, well, try harder. As an adult now, I understand how frustrating behavior can be, but I also remember feeling really misunderstood as a kid. My mother always took my behavior so personally. As a parent, I feel that I now have the responsibility to try harder to understand, to find my compassion when my kid is having trouble. But so much of traditional parenting tells you to focus on behavior, pressing parents to tell kids not to do this or that and to be things like nice or respectful or obedient. I think we need to stop trying to tell kids anything, and what we really need is to behave in ways that develop our kids' natural capacity for empathy. Empathy and self-regulation are the keys to better behavior, and those are the two things absent from much of our parent-child interactions. Kids so often get blamed for the behaviors as being the cause of trouble, when really, how much of our behavior is contributing to the conflict? Kids get judged and labeled as mean, and all of that criticism turns the very lessons that we are trying to teach into repeated assaults on their sense of self-worth. Now, I have done several other videos on behavior and understanding the message, and it's because I cannot stress this point enough. I feel that our biggest problem with eliminating the behavior that we don't want is our misunderstanding of what behavior really is. Here's an example. I'm a sucker for train wreck TV. I will watch the scariest reality shows because I love people watching and I find it totally fascinating. So recently I was watching this show where a young child was disappointed at hearing that this big new swing set that was going up in her backyard did not have monkey bars. Now, she didn't throw a fit. She responded as if she just heard that they were out of her favorite ice cream. It was sort of an aw shucks kind of moment. But her dad, in response, very kindly but very judgmentally said, "Well, how about this? Wow, how about this is amazing and thank you guys," instead of, "Ugh, no monkey bars." Because that doesn't come across as being very nice. It comes across as being very selfish. There it was. He took what was an honest and valid feeling of disappointment about not having her favorite activity on her new, obviously grand playset and turned it into a misbehavior. But what is misbehavior? Behavior that doesn't align with our expectations maybe, but it's not inherently bad or motivated by something that needs to be changed. Her age-appropriate behavior was perceived by her dad as a lack of gratitude, and I think that it was dad who really missed the behavior. Her face showed how utterly confused she felt. It was like, how could this honest question disappoint dad so much that he would call me selfish? That was the look that she had on her face. Now, this is certainly going to make her think about her behavior, but not in the ways that dad was hoping. She's more likely to start questioning herself next time she's curious about something. Now, dad was kind and patient. He didn't scare or threaten her, but he did weaken his influence by addressing her behavior and judging it, rather than helping her reflect on gratitude, which is probably what his ultimate goal was. So much of our influence gets muddled up in our behavior-focused lens. We need to try harder. And that is what I do here each week. I am passionate about helping you understand the real purpose of behavior so that you can make long-term changes instead of seeking short-term compliance. Behavior sends a message about how we feel and what we need. Your child's perceived negative behavior represents his immaturity, maybe some feelings that are bottled up, scary, or too big for him to handle. Reframe your view of behavior from something that needs to be stopped to something that needs to be understood. When you address the communication that your child is sending, the message, you can shape behavior faster and more effectively. Dig a little deeper in order to understand what's really going on inside your child's head instead of just judging what you see. Instead of criticizing, listen for the cues that give you information about your child's experience so that you can speak directly to the driving cause. What is this behavior saying? What is it telling me about this situation? I'm asking about the monkey bars because they're my favorite to play on. I'm crying because I'm feeling sad and impatient. I'm hitting because I'm feeling angry and I need someone to help me, or I'm ignoring you because I feel annoyed and unloved and I need to be heard. You can judge and label the strategies that your kids use, but that doesn't help you prepare them to cope in the future. Empathy is what fosters connection, and then better behavior develops from there. Your kids need your understanding and connection. It's essential to healthy development and not representative of a needy or demanding child. Children are less skilled at verbally expressing themselves, and their emotions have the power to easily overtake their thinking, constricting their perspective and rendering them unable to take appropriate action. Connect with the feeling state to change behavior. Now, I want you to try this out this week at home with your own kids. What behaviors can you think of right now that are persistent and challenging for you? Can you see beyond that behavior to the problem that your child is actually experiencing? What is that behavior trying to tell you? Instead of focusing on the behavior, can you reframe it through the lens of empathy? I'd love to hear your stories, so leave a comment and share them on the blog, because you never know when your experience might just be the inspiration someone else needs to make the changes that they were looking for. And did you like this video? Because if you did, I would love it if you would share it with a friend or on your favorite social media site, because when you share the love spreads. And if you want more tips and tools like this, be sure to subscribe for weekly updates or right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, please remember, it's about consciousness, not perfection.